there, it's Bonnie with Sew Inspired by Bonnie with another Tuesday's tip. And today we're going to discuss how to floss your embroidery machine or your regular sewing machine and keep those tension discs clean. So I'm going to go over here, refresh my computer, and if you're with us live, go ahead and click on like or love or give me a shout out from where you're at so I know that you're here so we can go ahead and get started. So I'll refresh my page. And my computer's being a little slow. Oh, I see some of you there. Okay. There we are. The computer's acting a little funky today. Hi, Alma. Hi, Marilyn and Deb. Well, we've got a few showing up. Okay. Well, since we've got several of you starting to get in here, we're going ahead and going to get started. How many of you, I know it's happened to me, you've been sewing along and all of a sudden the stitches were fine and then all of a sudden kaplooey, they're not so fine. They're looking a little bit bizarre. It can be a number of things. We've covered a couple of videos I've done in the past about thread shredding, needle breaks, various things can cause this, but one thing I didn't cover was actually flossing the tension assembly to make sure that no threads have gotten caught in there. Now, there's several things you can do to keep that from happening, and sometimes it just happens through no fault of our own. One of the things you should do when you've threaded your machine, go ahead and, when you're about to change threads, I might add, go ahead and cut that thread from the top and pull the thread out from the needle. A lot of times we were taught, I know I was, to just cut the thread down here or not even cut it at all, just pull it back out and to pull it backwards through the machine. And what that does, I have come to find out, is the thread is twisted in a certain direction, and when you're pulling it back out without trimming it and pulling it through the needle, you're causing that thread to go against the grain, and then sometimes some little fibers can get caught up in your tension assembly. And over time, those fibers build up and you might get a knot in there. So it happens to all of us. Sometimes I still do it out of habit, but I try to remember to cut my thread at the top and to pull it out. You're not wasting that much thread, and you're going to save yourself more than likely a repair bill on your machine on down the line. So an ounce of prevention is worth a lot. So how do you do that? I know on the internet we hear a lot about using dental floss. Well, one thing they always recommend is do not use dental floss that is waxed. You want to make sure you're using an unwaxed dental floss. I went through my stash of dental floss and I found some that says it's not waxed or it's not labeled as waxed, so I'm assuming it's not waxed. And then I pulled a little bit out. And what I noticed, this one happens to be a nice mint flavor, which is great for my teeth, but what I noticed when I ran my fingers over it, there was a little residual, a kind of a sticky residual. It's not waxed, but I think the only thing I can think of, it's maybe that mint flavoring is on this dental floss and it's coming off in my fingers. If it's going to come off in my fingers, I'm concerned it's going to come off in my machine. So personally, I'm a little leery of using dental floss at all. If you can feel a little bit of residual coming off in your fingers, I would not use it in your machine. So what does that leave us with? Some other options. Well, a lot of us also crochet, right? So I happen to have some bed weight crochet thread. You want a crochet thread that's heavier than your standard thread. This is quite a bit heavier than my standard thread, but it's pretty fine. It's not very heavy at all. And you're going to cut, about a yard, but you don't have to measure this at all. You just cut off a length of thread or twine, this crochet twine or thread, And then what I like to do, and I learned this years ago, is to take and tie a knot in my thread to create some resistance as it goes through the tension assembly. And you might tie a knot, it doesn't have to be measured, but every so often, maybe 2 or 3 times on down this length of crochet thread. So I've got 3 knots in there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my machine as I ordinarily would. I'm just going to start at the top, go around my tension assembly, back up a little bit. You want to make sure that your presser foot is in the up position. When your presser foot is in the up position, it's going to open those tension discs so that they're open and free to allow this thicker thread to go through. So make sure that your presser foot is up. Going to thread through the upper tension assembly and let those knots come on through, and you're just going to pull it out the bottom. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to flossing your machine. Now what if you're not a crocheter and you don't have any crochet thread hanging around that's nice and thin like that? Well, maybe your husband's a fisherman, right? So I asked my husband, do you have any really thin fish line? And it so happens he did. He had some 10-pound weight fish line, and it just comes on a big old roll. You know, you can get this at Hobby Lobby. You can get it, well, maybe not Hobby Lobby, but Walmart, Target, any place like that. And fish line is very clean. There's no residual on it, so you're not going to have anything messing up your machine. And again, you're just going to cut off a length of your fish line. Do not use your good scissors to cut the fish line with. I have just some regular craft scissors. And again, I would just tie a little knot, 2 or 3 times on down the length of the fish line. And again, that just creates a little bit of resistance there to clean out those discs. So I've tied, now I don't want the knots right on top of each other. They're, about every 3 inches. That one happened to be 6 inches. It doesn't have to be equal, but just down the length and not right on top of each other. And again, just run the fish line through your machine, threading it like you ordinarily would your thread. Make sure the foot pressure, or excuse me, the presser foot is in the up position, and then pull it on through those tension discs. And it should pull out any leftover little fibers or thread that's gotten caught in the tension assembly. And then go ahead and sew again. Another tidbit I'd like to add, if you have any trouble with your tension, somehow it just shows, starts going berserk on you, maybe the bobbin thread's coming up to the top or anything like that, stop, look at the thread and make sure that the thread itself hasn't gotten hung up on anything. Look at things before you start pulling the thread out, because leaving the thread in its position when the tension starts going off might give you a clue of what's going wrong. So don't just automatically take everything apart and rethread. Look first to make sure your thread hasn't hung up on anything. Double check your bobbin case to make sure you have the correct size bobbin in there. A lot of us have different machines and they take different size bobbins, and it's real easy to pick up the wrong bobbin and put it in the wrong machine. Make sure you haven't put in the bobbin case adapter on the Brother Baby Lock machines when you're using a full-size bobbin, because that can mess things up. Any number of things can happen, but this easy flossing of the machine will help make sure that the tension assembly is nice and clean, so that you can help save yourself from a repair bill on down the road. So it was a really simple tip today, but an important one, and I hope that it kind of clears up some of the confusion of, do I use dental floss, do I not? If you do use the dental floss, make sure there's just no residual fibers or mint flavoring in there, or peppermint flavoring, whatever. Make sure that it has no wax on it, and that when you run your fingers, that will give you a clue. When you run your fingers down that dental floss, that'll give you a clue whether it should be something you want to put in your machine or not. But as I said, I'm a little bit leery based on what I found in my stash of dental floss, that even the ones that are unwaxed, there's some flavor on there that is kind of sticky, so I didn't want to use it. If any of you out there have a tip for me and send it in and I use it on our Tuesday's tips, I will send you 5 of our colors of glitter flex in the half sheet, which is, I believe, 6 by 10 inches. And so I hope that some of you will send in some of your favorite tips that I can share with people, because I will send you a little thank you with some glitter flex. We have over 50 colors of glitter flex on our website. It's a type of heat transfer vinyl that we really enjoy using on our applique designs and embroidery. So I just wanted to thank you for spending a little time with me on our Tuesday's tip. If you have any questions, I'm going to go over here and double check my computer to make sure that I have answered your questions. And I will also be checking back if you're watching this at a later time when we repost it. We will be reposting it on our YouTube channel as well as our Pinterest channel, and it'll always be on our Facebook page as well under the videos tab. Be sure to click on notifications so that you'll get notified in the future through Facebook when we're going live. And also be sure to sign up on our website at www.sewinspiredbybonnie.com and sign up for a newsletter where we give out tips and notifications when our Tuesday's tips are going to occur, as well as some freebies for joining. So that's the way to keep up with what we're doing. Well, let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Let's see. Teresa, I think, had a question, but it went away and I can't see it. Judy said she just missed me. Don't worry. We will have the replay on YouTube as well as Pinterest. And of course, it's always on our Facebook page. Kelly says that she's used the small dental picks that have small fibers on them and taped them to a small wooden skewer to clean the bobbin case and threading area in my machine. Very clever. Thank you, Kelly. Anna said, how am I feeling? Any better? I'm feeling great. No problems. I'm doing great. I ask that you pray for those people that are affected by Hurricane Harvey down in the coast of Texas. Our daughter evacuated from Houston Thursday, and she's doing great. She had her baby over the weekend, and so we're excited that they are safe, and mama and baby are fine. But there's a lot of people down there suffering. Sorry. So Kelly said she needs those grandson baby pictures. We have some posted. I'll be sure to post one on my Facebook page. So I think we've answered. Pam said, could we repeat the comment on the glitter flex? What I said on the glitter flex is, if you send, email me a tip and I use your tip on the Tuesday's tip segment, I will send you 5, and I have 6 here, but I will send you 5 sheets of the 6 by 10 glitter flex. These aren't necessarily the colors I will send, but I'll make sure that you get some pretty colors. They're all pretty, and they're super sparkly, and we have over 50 colors that we sell on our website. So if you have any questions, just give me a shout. But yeah, if you have a tip, be sure to email me at Bonnie@sewinspiredbybonnie.com, and if I use your tip on my Tuesday's tips, I will send you that little set of glitter flex. So I think Ginger says she will watch the replay. Nice to hear about not using dental floss. Praying for all the flood areas. Thanks, Ginger. I know that they really appreciate it. Like I said, there's a lot of people suffering and scrambling, and their lives are changed for many, many months to come, and trying to pull it all together. So our daughter down there in Houston survived 2 floods, and we're just grateful. Well, actually, she survived 3 floods, so we're just grateful she wasn't down there for a 4th one. But there's a lot that have lost everything. So I think we've covered everything. Again, if you have any questions, just give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to help you if I'm able. And I hope to see you next Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye for now.